What's up, everybody? It is Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. It's going to be episode 209. I decided to move on to the vehicle prop concepts, and the reason for that was the steps that I need to take in order to get to the character that I'm supposed to be working on. I needed to get these props done and out of the way, and I finally just came up with the idea that I kind of want to go through with it. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is, because there's an Air Force that I'm working on, is I'm just going to look at the historical planes, just planes throughout all of history, whatever ones I find that kind of suit my fancy. Uh, I'm going to make an attempt to not just redraw those, but draw those in I guess, in an interesting fashion, in the science fiction take, a very fictional take on planes, because obviously I'm not a aerodynamic designer, you know what I mean, I'm not a designer of airplanes and jet planes and all that stuff. So it's all just going to be fantasy and things. That way, it's somewhat grounded in reality, but not so much. And the idea that I was having, really, I think it'll be really interesting. So, like I said, I'm just gonna scroll through airplane pictures, and then whatever one I find that's neat, I'm going to use that in order to help reference me, or use it as a reference to work on work on the vehicles that I imagine pilots in my world are going to be driving. And again, it's all just like fake fantasy stuff, so who cares, right? Today's date is July 26th. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you are watching a old video. Let me adjust the camera here, get a straight down shot. And if you want to catch these things live, I'm on Twitch. And if you want to catch them sooner, you could certainly join my Patreon. These videos usually go up on my Patreon right after I'm done recording them. And yeah, for most of the videos, you will have to be a patron. That starts at $1 a month, nothing crazy. And starting at $3 a month, you can get character portraits and anything like that from me. So yeah, go check that out if you're interested. Other than that, Mr. Drew on all other social medias and all that other stuff. So check me out there if you wish. I'm always posting the pictures and everything like that. I don't stream everything that I draw, so every now and then something will pop up on those where it's like, oh, okay, that's neat. Anyways, I didn't know Masters of the Universe dropped on Netflix, so I heard Kevin Smith talking about it on his recent Fat Man Beyond. So I was like, oh, let me go check that out. So I got episode 3 playing in the background. I'm just gonna let that rock, and while I work on these things, let's get into it.
You still miss him? Every day. Thought it would get easier with time. So did I.
This is all very touching. But one look at Orko and it's clear that we have no time to waste. We came here to ask the disgraced man-at-arms for his help. So will you help us or not?
I'm sorry,
All right.
but my one saving days are behind me.
What about your responsibility to attorney him?
I was responsible for Prince Adam. And he's not here, is he? So I'm not fit to render service of any kind to the royal family.
You know, you almost had me believing that you changed. But you're exactly what you were when I left. Broken old man with so much concern for the royal family and so little concern for his own.
I assure you, that's not true.
Bravado.
Family can be many things, Tina. The surrogate daughter you raise like your own. The surrogate son you build to be the best version of yourself. The fearless friend who trusts you with his secrets. Even the imp from another dimension. Family is what you make of it.
appreciate the intention, little guy. But you should sit this one out.
Please, Tila. I've had the best times of my life with you. And that's the only thing that can help me right now. More life. But life is out there. So, bring me on an adventure. Like you used to. Just this one last time. I won't let you down like the old days. I promise. I'll be good.
Even if you do come, Orko, only Duncan knows how to reforge the Sword of Power.
What about some of Duncan's memories?
You? You're not going with them. What are you, some kind of fool?
If I am, then we are a pair of fools. Because my neural pathways are based on yours. I was built by the younger you, so I'm only attempting to do exactly what you would have done. I operate from all of your memories. Which means if you know how to reforge the Sword of Power, then so do I.
And since you're me, I know I wouldn't have taken another answer either. If it was going, then I'm following my family.
No.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Roboto can reforge the sword, so he comes with us. Duncan is going to Grayskull.
Grayskull? I know you're mad at me, but Randall decreed that.
It's the sorceress, Dad. She's dying. She only has Cringer to protect her. And if Triclops and his techno-cult are so hell-bent on tearing down magical totems, how long will it be before they go after Grayskull?
I said no more secrets, so there's something I have to tell you.
Oh no, we don't have time for any more family things. The orb ember is at almost half the height it burned only yesterday.
A story for another time, then.
If we're lucky. I don't know how I feel about the past anymore. But I want to make it all up to me. Save the sorceress, Dad.
It's so amazing. Oh, I like places like this. Vast.
I have to be a little more controlling with these lines.
Didn't like it too much the last
This is why I don't really do
I liked the crystal sea. It was the
industrial
garden
design
you
stuff,
were
man.
You were always going on
Everything has to be
and
so
on about
shaped
She-Man.
perfect.
You used
And
to go on and on about Skeletor.
I always like to be a little more organic with mines.
My devotion to Skeletor blinded me to the obvious. That I could have been a master of the universe. I was born to rule. But instead of fulfilling my destiny, I spent a lifetime helping him fulfill his.
Well, he's dead now, so move on.
Like you. You haven't moved on, you just run away. If something is dead, you bury it. If it isn't, you nurture it. But you have to face it. Or it will haunt you to the end of your days.
Save your lecture. I found peace.
Said the warrior on route to hell.
It's days like this you don't think you're gonna remember.
What? Look at this. Of course I'll remember today. Why wouldn't I?
I spent years fighting alongside Eternia's greatest warriors. And now, I forget more than I remember. All my memories just blur together. So, if you're gonna lead the life of an adventurer, Andra, you might want to keep a journal. Write down everything you ever do, even the silly stuff that you think is forgettable. Because when the adventures are over, that's all you're left with. Good friends and happy memories.
What was that? Quiet.
We could have taken control, but no, you forgot all about Merman. Now, you'll never forget Merman.
So,
No.
yeah, I'm designing this one.
See, you can still help
It's a
us.
really basic,
I told you to go to Grayskull.
And I told you,
really basic.
We offer you a trade. You get us safely to the gates of Saturnia and we will return you to the deep. If you refuse, you'll rot in the sun until even the seagulls won't eat you.
Just like the old classic planes didn't have their wheels retract. This is kind of like one of those, like really early on.
Magic must be stronger here than in Eternos. I'm feeling more myself.
Which means the power sword we seek is nearby.
I held up my end of the bargain.
Free the flounder.
The sea never forgets evil and neither do I.
Something fishy about that guy. Oh, what? We were all thinking it.
Get in and get out of Saturnia as fast as you can. Nothing lives long in the land of the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gate to Saturnia. Oh, how do we open this thing?
Stand back.
I have to. But I'll understand if you choose not to join me. This place is full of darkness and terror.
How do I want to do this?
I'm not afraid.
Then you really are.
Kind of like the pointed nose. I was looking for something else though.
This call's hysterical. What is that? Eyes open. Let's find the sword and get out of here. Andra. Lynn?
Carla, I'm home. Wait, am I dead? Of course not, simpleton. This is some kind of subterranean illusion. A very good illusion. Where are the others?
Mystic observation lens. Reveal where we may find our friends.
Good idea. Someone at the Academy of Magic can help us find them. Hey, wait up, Lynn. Can I call you Lynn? No.
It doesn't make sense. She was right in front of us.
Calm down. First, figure out where we are, then we can look for the others. Roboto, access your enhanced telemetry. Where are we?
Sensors indicate we are nowhere.
Yeah. I suppose we're alone, too.
I detect no other life forms. The
Thanks for the fight.
source of all trouble and magic, our life force. But let's try. They're all gone. How?
Magic really is dying. And not just in Eternia. But why are we being shown this?
The scary thing is, what if it's not just an illusion? If they're really gone, then that makes me the last troll in the universe.
You're right. That is scary.
You know, my name isn't really Orko. Well, I mean, it sort of is, but my parents wanted to set me up for greatness. So when I was born, they gave me a name to match the position of honor they expected I'd achieve one day. But when you're little, some words are hard to pronounce. I said Orko when I really meant
Oracle. They called you Oracle.
all-knowing, all-powerful. No pressure, right? Well, it didn't take long to see how different I was from the other younglings. Magic comes easy to Trollins, even in youth, but me? I can't do anything right. Spells, charms, they all end in disaster. Anyway, Orko stuck. I think when my parents saw the failure I'd become, they were glad it did. Oracle would have only made people laugh at me more than they already did. No one's laughing now. I was the least of them, and now I may be the last. That's funny, right?
Small. Insignificant. You have to fight for everything they won't give you. Your enemies, yes, but especially your friends. When they say you're weak, it's because they don't understand how even the tiniest measure of strength can fill an entire universe. To them, it's sorcery. To me, no, they didn't call me evil. I added that part later.
Not a bad start. Kinda terrible. Not so bad.
Falling and being alone. That might be terrifying, but whatever. Let's keep this going. Come on! I'm waiting!
need my staff to focus what magic I have left. What about you?
Told you, if I'm good at anything, it's being good at nothing. Unless shadows can slip on banana peels or catch on fire, I'm useless.
Sounds like your parents talking.
I've waited a long time for this. You wonder why I didn't trust you.
But you did. In every battle against any rival. With your life.
Not my real life. Turns out you never knew me at all. You have always been alone.
You are not him. You are not real. You are nothing.
I am free. Your free. Inadequacy and abandonment, frailty and isolation. All because of you. I am parted to everyone but you. So much power for one being to hold over. I have the power because you surrendered it. Now I see. Now I know what really frightens me. Most people fear being born.
But you are just the opposite. They lie because they were trying to protect you. From what you lose. That person definitely controls you. Your own fate. I control my fate by hiding away, pretending to be ordinary when you know deep down you are so much more.
And how that must terrify you.
Yes, it does. Because I don't understand it. I never have. But that doesn't mean it controls me. I own my power. Every part of it. My strength, my
Alright.
It's over. Oh, you're all alive. Look, where's Taylor? You found the sword. Give it to me. That is only half the sword, Carl. Do you know how to find the other half? Almighty Zor, disintegrate this rock and open heaven's gate. Turn to account the eyes of fate and lead us to the Saber's mate.
Is that Kryptonian? How? With every last bit of magic she could conjure. For the good guys.
We need to get home. Now.
If you want the sword, it's yours. You can even ask the mighty hero himself to go before you.
Whoa. Heroes up here too?
For all eternity. Just like you now. Because the door to Eternia only opens in one direction.
You mean we're trapped in heaven?
Andra, right? Think of this place as a walled garden. You were only able to enter because Subternia, it shares one of the walls with us. So, yes, you're trapped. But I think I know how to get you out. I'll need your help, too.
Go. Make us a cover story.
As you wish, sister.
Good luck, T.
We gonna talk about it?
Talk about what?
Come on, why did you come here? Why do you need the sword?
You're not gonna begrudge me a secret, are you? He-Man.
Look, I didn't want you to find out that way.
You didn't want me to find out at all. Just tell me your plan.
Grayskull Tower. If there's a way to Eternia, it'll be there.
Then why are we hiking away from it?
We have to see the man himself.
Graceful. As in mythical man from the tombs, Graceful?
Oh, he's real enough. And he's out here somewhere. Today is the wild hunt.
What the hell is that?
That's your ticket home. Remember these?
Some things you could never forget.
Do you know who this guy is? Hero is an Eternian legend. He fought the Horde invaders and defended the free people right beside King Grayskull. I can't believe it.
My beliefs have been challenged as well. I witnessed many things that defied explanation when I was a breathing man. But the common creature twin? This is inconceivable.
You think it's put back togetherable?
This was forged by Trollen mage smiths thousands of years ago. It is no trifling thing.
We don't trifle.
I can find the blade. My heart is a cork collector.
That's very clever, Metal Man. But what would contain it? Even the forge at Grayskull would scarcely.
What about this place? The walls are made of Eternium, right? Is there a lockdown procedure?
What terrible design have you in store?
We're gonna turn the whole damn tower into a forge.
Well met. She said hi.
champion ever chose their lesser self. Until Adam.
Yeah, that's definitely not it.
So, someone cracked open your day. The sword of power was forged to protect you. I should know. I was the first to do it.
You were the first champion? No wonder they call the place Castle Grayskull.
When the elders first cast the illusion to hide the Hall of Wisdom, they named it Castle Grayskull to honor it. But if you've ever seen the castle, you know it's a dubious honor at best. Still, there's a gate within my tower that issues to the outskirts of the castle in your dimension. I will take you.
You've never used it? Have you ever gone back before?
We're dead. It would be unnatural. I spent my whole life afraid of death. But when I died and I was received unto paradise, I discovered there was never anything to fear. The end is merely the beginning, and only in death am I truly living. So I ask you, why would I ever leave? You should go after her. Keep her space.
Like a candle from a torch, I borrowed this power from Castle Grayskull. It tethers us to that energy. The very strength we get.
The energy will be cataclysmic, Uncle. Are you sure you're up to a task this dangerous?
Oh, not at all. Please get the others to the new safe distance.
Tila, I know how you...
Stop
Stop what?
being nice. Just let me be angry.
Because I lied?
Yes, because you lied. You don't even understand what it did to me, do you? I couldn't mourn my friend because I didn't know who he was.
It was always me. Always. He-Man was just...
He-Man didn't hurt me, Adam. You did. And I couldn't even scream at you for it because you were gone.
I died!
Yeah, and the rest of us had to live with it.
Tila, I need to know why you came.
Ask me that, please.
You're hurting. Or sick, or... Did something happen to the magic? In Eternia?
Why? What do you know?
Tila, there's something...
Don't. I don't want to hear it. We can't change what happened. I just need to get back to Eternia with this sword of power.
Why? Why do you need it? We saved the world! Didn't we?
Telling you wouldn't do anything to torture you.
If I have to, I can go back. take it you were listening?
No, eavesdropping is rude. I heard everything.
Has anyone ever left this place?
Why ask me?
You're the only mythological Praetorian plant creature I know.
You think me unique, but I simply died and became a forest. Not so very different from other creatures. People die and feed nature, and in the end, become nature.
I didn't.
You were given a reprieve for services rendered. If you were to return to Eternia, well, paradise is not so easy to attain. You might never be able to come back here. You would end as mortals do, in dirt. So you must simply decide if you're at peace with becoming a forest, as it were. But then again, at the scale of the universe, I'm terribly young, only 1,000,000 years old. So what do I know?
Tila, please tell Father he was more successful at making me than he knew. If I was but a mere machine, I would never be afraid to die. And yet, as my years go and my program ends, I feel fear.
No, Romano. Nothing can fix you.
No tears. Don't you see I feel fear? Echo, I feel. I was no mere machine. I was a miracle. What a way to go.
I guess this is it.
No. If I'm here, who's gonna call down the power of Greystone?
There were champions before you, Adam, and there will be champions after. Lay the burden down.
Bravado, Orca,
Sup, Nope? How's it going, man? I'm struggling over here, but it's all good.
They'll be back. Raids come every few hours. I'm gonna die before I let any of them lay their filthy hands on her.
I know a thing or two about dying.
Adam, how is this possible? Huh?
Creature! Oh, buddy. I never thought I'd see you again.
You absorb the exploding orb of power. It split your sword in two, and both halves took all the magic in the universe back to Eternia and Subternia. Now that it's reforged, their sword is a conduit again, to call back power.
You can bring it all back by saying the magic words.
You've done well, Tifa.
Don't worry, we're about to fix her. Still know the tune?
Some things you can never forget.
I mean, I don't know. I'm giving myself troubles just because I'm not like a prop artist. I don't draw props on the regular. Like, I'm good with like characters and anatomy and things like that. But yeah. You know, the thing with all this like mechanical designs is everything is usually so measured and so perfect, which is why I always stayed away from it. And then I saw an artist work on mechanical stuff, but he was a guy who didn't do mechanical drawings, and his machines had like this really interesting look to them, this kind of organic look, and almost seemed like grounded in reality. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? I guess I could always try to tackle. So it's like, you know, I'm down to work on this stuff, but yeah, it's, you know, not my forte.
No! 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 Skeletor?
My apologies for keeping you in the dark, my dear.
I was to be destroyed in the orb explosion. I was forced to seek refuge in your wand staff to protect my essence. You did good, Minnie. Now, take your rightful place at my side.
I really was starting to like you kids.
You don't have to do this.
Yeah, it's got its ups and downs. I mean, at the end of the day, these are all just for me.
Leave her be.
I don't think I'd ever be able to do something like this for money, you know?
Look at my face, child. It is furnished for me a lonely life in which none would have me as a man. So, then let me be a god. By the power of Grayskull.
You know, dealing with the perspective and all the angles and everything like that. Even when like using references and things, it's crazy. You know what? Let me do this. Now, is that the end of the show? Oh, that was. It's not bad. Oh, you know what?
What time is sunset today?
Let me watch that. I'm gonna go throw on a David Finch interview with Eric Grove, or he's drawing with Eric Grove. I don't know who Eric Grove is, but I watch David Finch's YouTube channel all the time. And he,
All right, well, I thank you everyone for coming and watching. This is why Monday Night Draw was good. I need the title so I can say thanks for coming for Monday Night Draw. But this is Drawing with Tyler Kirkham, who I don't know how we managed to get him. I'm thrilled. He's an incredible artist. All of you know his work. He's been both at Marvel and DC, and he's done Green Lantern and Venom, Superman, and tons of stuff. So, and tons of covers too. Incredible covers. So I'm really excited to get to talk to him about his process. I mean, we've known each other, Tyler, for a long time.
Yeah, man. Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on here. By the way, Greg, it's a pleasure, man. I love your show, dude. I'm a huge fan, man. Honestly, like I've always been a huge fan, by the way. But I mean, we're all Cal alum, so I mean, I never got to work with you in this like the studio setting, but you know, you came in a few times when I was young and kind of interning, and I was like, you know, whenever you would come around, I was like, hey, Dave Finch is coming. Dave Finch is coming.
Yeah, I was a little bit older.
You were the generation before
Yeah.
me. And then Top Gun, I just moved offices, and I don't know, were you out there? Were you working in the studio and stuff for a while, the Bullpen?
Yeah, well, I was there for 6 years. And I left the end of '99. So, around summer '90, around that. So, when did you start?
I was there, I think, around 2002.
okay, so that's what's
Okay,
happening.
okay.
Yeah. I just missed you, you know what I mean? Like, I missed
Yeah.
you, Turner, like, Benitez, Billy Tan, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of those guys who were part of your, I guess, your generation, right? Like Brian Sheen.
Yep, yeah, it was a
a whole bunch of us. We were all really kind of in the same room, and it was a great place to learn. I'm sure it was for you too. You know, you had your own group that you came up with. I remember, and I don't want to embarrass you with this, but I remember. I don't know if it was your first convention, but certainly one of your first conventions. Your mother was there. She was so thrilled. Like, you know, you had a whole bunch of people waiting for you. You know, 'cause you really hit the ground running. So yeah, it was cool to see.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right, man. Like there was a time where, you know, I was trying to break into the industry, and my parents were cool enough to, you know, take me out to San Diego Comic Con. Like there was a Vegas convention, and like, you know, I was like, can you guys go do something while I wait in this line, you know, and try to get my portfolio reviewed? And I would wait. I remember waiting for like Renee Gearlings.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Mark, Jim Lee back in the day, trying to get my art reviewed and stuff. But yeah, and I got an internship out there. Luckily, I was working on an independent book, and Renee was the editor on this book. It was called The Gift, and she was editing The Gift, and she said, hey, you know, I know this artist. He's a young artist. He's getting fairly good, and she hired me to do the book The Gift, and I just kept in touch with her. Like she was like my foot in the door. Like she helped me with everything. She kept pointing me in the right direction, and then finally I was like decent enough to come in and actually meet Mark. So I came in, and he was like, hey, I see some potential here. You know, if you can move out here, you can come in here. You can just come work in the office or in the studio on the book that you're working on. And it was always a little bit of a weird situation because I was working on a book that wasn't Top Cow yet. Mark was helping me, and he was like teaching me and like pointing things out and like.
Yeah, which is stressful, but such a big help. But you know, before we, because we're going to be drawing everyone, so I don't want to, go too far into it. But we're also here because Tyler has his new book on Indiegogo called Final Boss. There is a link, I think, at the top of the chat, but there's also a link in the description here. So please check it out. Support Tyler, and I'm sure I saw actually in the chat that a lot of people have already supported it, which is great. And Eric, you're here, right? Yes. You've been quiet so far, but you have a video from Tyler. Is that right? It was for Final Boss. Do you have that?
Yeah, I shared it over with you.
All right, I'm gonna. This is high tech right here. I'm gonna make him big. Here we go. Okay. Wait, see that up there? Yeah.
When video games and comic books collide, you get Final Boss, the ultimate fighting graphic novel experience. Forced to do underground fighting moves to make a living. Disgraced former special operative Tommy Grayson discovers he has inherited supernatural powers. Following in the footsteps of his grandfather, who told war stories of discovering an ancient temple on a remote island sanctuary devoted to a forgotten deity, a demigod that possesses the power to grant supernatural gifts to the warriors who invest in it. Tommy sets out to trace the origin of his newfound powers. He discovers fighting not only triggers more intense reactions, but he gains power and levels up with each victory. He also finds a fist to the face can solve a lot of problems. Now, Tommy must earn his way to the island by competing through fight after fight, so he can find out if the stories are true and who really is the final boss.
That is absolutely crazy. If I ever get to do something on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, it's not going to look that good. I don't know how you did that.
Well, there's no way I can do that. I hired a team actually that's like amazing at video production work. They're called Geek Fives actually, and they're out of Florida, Miami, Florida, and I got lucky enough to meet them through other friends, and I hire them to do all sorts of stuff now. I mean, they're amazing, dude. Like they're so
email you on that, yeah, because that was amazing. And before we go on too, we have a super chat from Maijo for $5. Thank you so much. And he says, Dave, I just wanted to say you're a really good artist and I'm watching from the hospital. So thank you for your help with comic art. Stay up. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you're doing well. Hopefully you're recuperating in the hospital, and yeah, you're back with us soon and drawn away, and maybe drawn in the hospital too. So I think I'm going to switch my camera here, and we're going to get started. And so, all right, Dave, I'll duck up, and then I'll catch up with you. Okay, we'll see you in just a bit. And we're also, I told Eric earlier, we're not going to warn him. We're just going to put his artwork up there, so might as well make it uncomfortable. So I decided that I wanted to draw a masked vigilante. And let me fix this here. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. We lost Tyler. We'll figure this out, hopefully. Oh, here he is.
Hey, come on, man. Yeah, like, I did this with Eric the other day. I actually hit back.
Okay.
Instead of just trying to go to the main page.
Yeah, well, and before we started, I was telling you that, when I'm on my own doing these, I run around. I don't know what to say. And, when your camera disappeared, I thought, oh, this is it.
Sorry about that, man. Okay, I was trying to get, so I know there's a way to get back to the home page, right? So where I can see. No, I can see. Never mind. I'm in there. I'm in there now. Perfect.
Yeah.
It looks like you got your board up. I just switched my camera. Hopefully people can see that as well. But I was kind of sketching a couple of different poses as I was chatting with you, man. Like, oh, nice. Yeah. It was, when I jumped in, we were saying, hey, who should we draw? And Max Vigilante was kind of who we thought would be really cool. And I can tell everyone a little bit about the character. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram or other social media platforms, I've actually used the Mass Vigilante name and the logo and stuff like that for kind of a t-shirt line, like a merch line actually. But what everyone didn't know is it was always based on the character that was going to be in Final Boss. But the reason that I wanted to do a character like that is because I'm kind of known for drawing characters like Deathstroke, Red Hood, and basically Mass Vigilante. Those are my favorite type of characters. I love drawing like Deadpool whenever I get a chance.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that I had a character that was masked, that's a Mass Vigilante. Like, I love that. That's the exact type of character that I like to draw. So, I wanted to create one for fun, like a mysterious character for Final Boss that was always popping up in the background and you didn't ever really know who it was, but has a really big part in the story later on. She's got crazy skill, cool weapon, and just you always see her like popping up, helping the main characters, saving their life, jumping in at just the right time, and almost like guiding them in the direction that they should go. But you don't ever know who it is, and they're always curious who it is, but she always disappears before they ever get a chance to like talk to her or question her. So I just like that idea. I want to make a female, and I want to make it masked. So I'm gonna go with this little layout here.
Nice. And actually, here, I'll show you mine. There's no way for me to show. Wait. Can I show you without showing how messed up my desk is? Look at it beyond. I've got paint on my desk. Beyond it, it's all paint. And anyway, so this is the layout that I did.
Is that layout on your actual desk?
No, I've got a big sheet of paper, and I change it out all the time. I felt like it looks a little, more professional. So, than at my desk. I've had this thing since I was 20 when I first decided I wanted to start drawing, and it's a cheapo desk, but I'm superstitious, so it's my desk forever.
I really need one of those stand-up desks that can be kind of electronically raised.
Oh yeah, I have where you can stand, and well, obviously where you can stand. Yeah, I talked to anybody that watches the stream. You guys know that works with things. I talked to another artist who's having trouble with his back and using it, and I've actually I find I get uncomfortable if I'm sitting at a desk too long, and so I actually draw on my couch 90% of the time. We have yeah, yeah. We have a super chat from SES Powerlifting. Good to see you again for $5. Thank you so much. And he says, spent all day drawing and time to relax and watch the pros do it. Well, thank you. We will try to not screw it up.
Right?
It's always a possibility when there are people watching. It's just the reality.
I mean, you must be pretty comfortable with it now, right? I mean, you've done quite a few of these episodes where, I mean, have you ever messed up where you're like, oh man, I really don't like what I did there, but I'm gonna just kind of work through it?
Yeah, I've had a few where I've messed up. Like, I try and make it kind of work in pencils. Like, it's actually not working right now. But, you know, it's easy enough to fix right now. It's harder when I switch to ink and, yeah, I've had that. And then I've had times, I did a Superman. I was really happy with it. And somebody pointed out that the head was too big, and it was. It was so big. So, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, man, there's a, well, you're in Canada, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have Sam's Club there, like the big box Sam's Club stores?
I don't think we have Sam's Club. We have Costco.
Okay. Because I just saw it 2 days ago. There's one of those electronic desks, man, that you can actually raise it and lower it. It plugs in, and you can. The only problem with it though is it didn't have the architecture.
Oh yeah, that would.
Which wouldn't work. So.
Yeah, my desk is pretty flat, but it's not. Working on a flat desk, and you get distortions here. Drawing when you do that too, which is always a problem. We have Kevin Mandeville here. Good to see you. He says Master Vigilante from Tyler's final project. Tyler's final boss project. Normally, I have Meredith for our Monday night, and she is so much better at this.
Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah. Tom McCart is here. It's good to see all you guys. One Mighty R. Says Costco got free food samples. Yeah. The problem with the free food samples is everybody lines up there, and you just want to get past, and those carts are enormous, and yeah.
Well, they still do. I noticed that my local one, they stopped doing it, with COVID came around or whatever.
I haven't been in a year and a half, so I don't know.
Your membership lapsed, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually probably has.
Yeah, I actually used to work at Sam's Club. Right before I was started doing art professionally, I was one of those dudes out there pushing carts in.
Oh yeah.
That was my gig, man, for a little while.
It's a job.
It is, yeah. You got it. So I want to ask you a little. So you're still okay? So you use a lot of them by holder pencils, right? Do you ever use the mechanical stuff, or you kind of mainly just sharpen your pencil?
I sharpen it, which is a hassle. I saw you using a mechanical pencil, and it's so much better, but I press too hard, and I can't help it. I've tried to fight it, and I finally just went, you know what, I'm better off using one of these. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but yeah, as much as I love these pencils, what Tyler has is arguably a better pencil to use.
I mean, this is kind of what you have, right? But it's a lip holder.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do use a lot of mechanical pencils, though, actually.
Okay. Yeah, looking at it, I thought it was mechanical. So yeah, we're using the same type pen.
This is actually out of lead. I mean, I don't have any more free food stuff.
So that's why.
Yeah, that's pretty good fun, man.
So, final boss. How did that idea come about?
Yeah, man. So it's really just everything that I loved growing up. Honestly, I was like, if I'm gonna do my own book, I want to tell a story that I would have loved. That I would love now. I would have loved, getting into comics, and that would bring some nostalgia back, to maybe people that are my age or just people that are kind of looking for that. Just kind of no hold barred action adventure, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to just. I love games. I read comics. I love action movies, and I wanted to develop some characters that were all kind of based around that that world, and my first thought was, I want to create something that is almost like a classic Jean-Claude Van Damme film, meets like Street Fighter, right? Because just the stuff that I love, right? Just
Yeah.
creating characters that you want to know more about, and you can only hope that you can flesh them out, because when you play these games, or you never, unless they release a movie like Mortal Kombat or something, you always want to know more about them, but you never really get to unless they release some sort of other medium, right? So I thought, well, I'm gonna kind of do that world, but I'm gonna do like a graphic novel, tell the story in a graphic novel format, so that I can actually flesh out some of these characters.
Yeah, and a story beyond just the ring.
Exactly, man. So, like came up with a concept that I really liked, and characters, and a way to kind of move the story forward, and I just started coming together. And I was like, maybe I can actually do something with this. And I was like, this is something I would love to draw, because obviously you got to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe other people would enjoy it. They'd have a good time reading it, and I could leave some open questions for people to want to come back. So that was kind of my goal, man.
Wow, that's great. And incredible character designs. So did you start with the main character?
Tommy.
Thank you. Yes.
Actually, this Master Vigilante was designed originally, but I didn't ever have her fully fleshed out, because, like I said, I was kind of utilizing her as that. I was putting Matt Vigilante on like shirts and merchandise type stuff, so I was using that name as almost like a brand, I guess. And then I sketched up Tommy, who's basically my Ryu, right? He's my main character.
Yeah.
And I put a sketch up. I was like, would anyone like to see me do a creator own? And I got a pretty good response. I was like, gosh, maybe I really could do this.
Yeah, it's always such a risk. You do, and I'm sure you had.
Damn, I'm at 90 minutes already. Took me 90 minutes to draw these two?
It's a risk to come up.
Holy shit, I thought it's been like a half hour. I'm having like, this is fun to try to figure this stuff out. But yeah, this is not at all going the way I thought it would. These all still look an incredible amount like airplanes that exist today. So I'm wondering, just what the hell do I have to do to change these things up to get something new? I like this one just because it kind of looks like a shark, has that sort of sea creature aesthetic. So I really like that. But man, this is not going how I thought it would. I thought, like I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm aiming to do something kind of new, and this doesn't seem new. You know what I'm saying? So, what to do? All right, I'm gonna try something, and it's not. Yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see, man. I'm just gonna play it by ear.
Where if it does well, you do great. If it doesn't, the risk is all on you, and it's always a.
That's why I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, it's gotta be something that I'm just having a lot of fun.
Let's try this out.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's rewarding, man. Like, obviously, drawing popular characters like Superman, Batman, iconic characters like that's very rewarding as well. But there's just kind of something different about creating. Basically, this is amazing seeing you do this. Like this, you know what I mean? Like seeing you do the characters, and I've got tons of
email and say, hey, Tyler, I think you
Yeah,
might
man,
be.
do that.
All right.
In fact, like that's actually how I got a lot of the covers that I have. I'm trading other artists. I'm like, if you have something you're developing, I'm happy to do something. I've got something with the field,
All right.
right? I have like I think probably 6 artists right now that I'm waiting for them to tell me what to draw.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all gonna hit at once.
I know exactly. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
It's definitely a better way to go than, paying for each one as you go. It's a whole lot easier to draw a picture than, you know, pay for all that stuff when you're trying to finance a book.
Oh man, exactly.
So
I'd rather work it off, sweat equity.
That's right, yeah. We have another super chat from Mike. I'm probably saying this wrong. I'm saying Mike Mayo for $10. Thank you so much. And he says, yes, Dave, I'm all right. But I was born with heart problems, but that's not the cause right now. The doctors are trying to find out why I'm losing a lot of blood. But anyway, what are we drawing? Yeah, well, definitely our thoughts are with you, and hopefully it's something that is quickly and easily resolved. We're drawing Masked Vigilante from Final Boss. This is Tyler Kirkham's creator own comic, and this is a very, very cool looking character. You know what? I feel like I should put up the final character, but since we're going to be drawing it, you'll see it as it goes. So, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys, you've already seen this, so you know what we're doing.
See, I picture this character as, and I don't know if you noticed, Dave, like her guns, her handguns. Like I was like, you know what? I want to do something cool where if she runs out of ammo, I almost want to like add some to his belt where she can just like use her clip. Maybe she's got these custom made magazines or something that are a blade, right? They have a blade on them, so like if she runs out of ammo, she can quickly use hand to hand, and then she needs to get that sucker gets stuck in something. She's got a couple of extra blades that also could maybe that are full of ammo that could just get walk in there and get what I mean.
But it's very Masked Vigilante style. I mean, that's and I feel like there's something that entertainment is missing right now is this kind of project that, it has its roots in, it's really 80s culture, a lot of those video games, all that kind of thing, and I see so many of those projects come out and they end up being kind of tongue-in-cheek and not respectful and just something done earnestly because I love this stuff and I don't want to see somebody just, I'm too smart for, whatever. Like, I think when people approach superheroes that way, it's a mistake, and so it's cool to see a project like that, like this is just, it looks like every character is very fleshed out, a real story, and something that's not just trying to send off a genre that we love.
Yeah, man, because if I get if I get to do all of it, it's gonna be a really cool ending. You know what I mean? Like I've got some really cool stuff planned for the middle of the series all the way to the end. And this is just like basically I want to picture this as level 1, stage 1. So I tell people look at this as a video game in a way. So it's kind of it's basically comic books meets video games. So picture this as stage 1, this first half an hour. It gets you through the first boss, and I've got 10 bosses I want to get through. You know what I mean? Getting all the way up to awesome. So Tommy, his goal is obviously if he, and this isn't just like a fighting competition. It's not. That is part of the story, but there's a whole other side story of him discovering who he is, how he got his powers, how his grandfather, passed away, where his father is. There's a whole side story that he's personally trying to discover while getting roped into this, fighting tournament to stay alive, basically. So I've got a lot of cool things that I want to do, and I'm just gonna keep, keep plugging away as long as people like it, I guess.
Yeah, well, hopefully that is for a long time. Yeah, they have not made a good Bloodsport type movie since Bloodsport.
Exactly, man. The movies are like amazing. The Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Lionheart.
Yep.
That's just stuff that I could go on,
Yeah, oh yeah, me too. I saw
you're starting to get some ink in. What are you using there, Dave? What?
I'm using, this is just a Micron, it's 01, it's the only size I ever used. And then from there I use my Molotovs, that's not me, not Molotovs. We were talking about Molotovs earlier. Tompos.
Yeah. I use it well. They have the difference, the blue one and the gray one, right?
Right, which one do you use?
Let's switch back again.
I never use the blue one, or I never use the, so these ones are blue, the other ones are black, and these ones are gray here. And the softer ones are gold here, and they're black. And I don't use those for me just because I don't have good hand control, and I have trouble with them. So I like a bit of a firmer.
Me too, man. In fact, let me ask you, you might know, do you ever use the Pentel Pilot Rush pen?
I did for a long time, and I switched actually to these ones here. I just found that I get a little bit more control. I don't know if it's superstition though, but I think so.
Are they? Because I'm looking for something a little bit like basically this exact thing.
Yeah.
But stiff. Because I have a very hard time controlling this as well.
It's not better, I'm sure. And mine is, I don't know if you can see how many hairs are hanging off of it. This is the only one I have. I need to order some more. It's trash. So it doesn't give me any control anyway, but I just find it, I don't know, feels easier to me. And so many times I make decisions like I have a picture that turned out well, and then I decide that's the way I need to do it forever. And those are the tools, so take that with a grain of salt.
I buy so many supplies that I try one time and then just sit there.
Well, I saw Scott Williams uses, I don't know if I've got it on my desk still. It's a different type of pen. I don't see it. Oh wait, I do. Scott Williams uses these ones. These are Kiritaki pens. I don't know. Anyway, they're basically the same as the Tompo, but I can't get the same detail with them, and he swears by them. And I think it just comes down to a different hand.
Yeah. Some people just have better control,
Yeah, well, we're talking about Scott Williams, so yeah.
I don't really compare anything.
You're right, and I'm sure that all you guys know who Scott Williams is, but he is the biggest thinker in the business, and really the originator of the West Coast style in terms of inking. And it's him, Jim Lee, Los Patasio, were really kind of the center of that whole kind of anime manga inspired style, but very Americanized. There's a lot of John Byrne. There's a lot of influences in there. So many that I could speculate, but I don't actually really know. And a lot of that style came from Scott Williams, so he's a legend.
I've always actually wondered where, and maybe it's Scott Williams, like where did people start, like early image days and early like before, or I guess not early Marvel days, but the time, McFarlane's and the Eric Larson, Liefeld and stuff. Like where?
You know what? Let me just draw this thing as it is, and then I'll see how I can build on it.
Because I feel like a lot of people can kind of see the standard and they just kind of roll with it,
Yeah, and it's so easy to look back on it, and especially originators of a style, it doesn't look fresh like it did. Like when Jim Lee started doing his X-Men stuff, there had never been anything remotely like that before. It was revolutionary. And well, Tom McFarlane, obviously. Here's my theory. I think that Jim Lee, I'm just going to talk about Jim Lee. He was very influenced by John Byrne, so that was a big one. And then around the time when he was really kind of coming up and starting to get popular, Weapon X came out with Barry Windsor Smith, and a lot of that rendering I saw kind of make its way into Jim Lee's work. And there was also Art Adams, who was doing incredible stuff with Terry Austin, just, this really great kind of anime manga inspired. I think that kind of was in there, so there are a few different things, but I think it's some of those other artists. I know from Mark Silvestri, there's definitely Mike Mignola influence in some of his Wolverine stuff. So
I remember him saying, like Mule was kind of his main influence or something at one point, anyways. But
Yeah, you know, Jim Lee would be really interesting to be able to corner and just say, okay, where? Tell me how did this happen? Not that it even matters. It's, you know, it's the work, but it would be very, just from a, I'm just such a fan of the medium, you know?
you know,
So right now you're inking and are you going directly in with the brush?
so my typical thing is I'll go in, yeah, with like a, it's almost like when you were showing like the little combo or whatever. This has a very similar, this is pretty cool. This is brand system. It's got the double-sided. So
Okay.
I mainly bought these to go to take them to conventions because then, you know, it's like, okay, this is perfect for conventions. I got dual tips. I can get through, you know, sketches or remarks without changing my pen at all. But I typically will do like some thicker stuff like this, and then I'll go back in and grab a point one like you're doing, or yeah, or this. Let's see. I think it's, yeah, the small size of the Faber-Castell, which I think is probably
Yeah.
remember, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same. I've got some of those, but by now they're old. So, you know, they don't really work anymore, but they all really do kind of work the same. My favorite are Molotov. I, you know what? I think they're better. I really do. But it could just be that I did a picture that I liked, and there you go.
And they don't really go back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you find something that you like, you might as well just, it makes life a lot easier if you know what you're going to get every time.
It does, and actually, there was somebody in the chat. Oh, hey, Comic Book Bob's here. Good to see you. I think I already said Kevin Mandel was here, but if I didn't, even if I did, it's good to see you here. Kevin, Comic Book Bob says Jim took what Mark's Vestry did, started and dialed it to 11. Yeah, you know, and I think there's a lot of truth to that too. And you really see Jim Lee's first issue of X-Men was inked by Dan Green. And there are a lot of similarities. Now, Dan Green obviously had his own hand, so it would be similar, but yeah, I think that was probably an influence in there too. I think I was saying something else. I completely forgot. I'm sorry, Tyler.
So, who was in the industry first, Jim or Mark? I don't even know that.
Mark was. Mark, yeah, he worked on Conan. He did actually, and I used to have it. I'm sure I still do. I can't find it, but he did a backup story in Moon Knight that I found by accident. When I did Moon Knight, it was a long time ago. I just bought a bunch of stuff, and there was a Mark Silvestri story in there. I couldn't believe it. And, you know, he's my teacher. I respect him immensely. It was not his best work, to be totally honest. It was early.
Yeah, I'd love to see that though, man.
Yeah, it was very cool.
How old is that?
I want to say that I think he got in 82. And I think Jim Lee, 86 or 88. Probably, I think more like 86. So, but I could be wrong.
Who was your favorite artist growing up, man? Was it someone else?
It was Mark Silvestri.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it was a tough thing for me when I started because I was such a huge fan. I just wanted to draw like Mark, and I couldn't, you know. And so I early on, I think about just about a year into working at Top Cow,
Time flew by.
looking at different artists. You know,
Oh my
I needed
God.
to kind of find myself. I'm sure you've probably gone through the same thing.
Absolutely.
I think everyone goes
So here's the concept that I'm playing with, and this is the concept that when I in the beginning of this video I talked about how I studied a little bit, and anytime I study a little bit, let me pause this. Anytime I study a little bit, it basically just means like I looked up pictures for 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, just to get like ideas, and then it's like, okay, those are interesting, let me play with those. So here are the ideas that I had. I was thinking about how airplanes, you know, you have an airplane and it's this tubular structure with a tail, and then, you know, they have the wings, and then they have 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back. Or vice versa. They'll have, you know, airplane, fin in the back with one wheel in the front, two wheels in the back. So I was thinking about three-wheelers, and I was thinking about the Volkswagen that came out with three wheels. They had two wheels in the back, one wheel in the front, but that vehicle was a failure because it would always tip over because of the imbalance, which is why I'm guessing airplanes always have to be handled so slowly. So I was like, okay, we have three-wheelers, but there are three-wheeler motorcycles out there. We know them with the two wheels on the back, one on the front. And then I'm thinking about the T-Rex vehicles, the ones that, like what I'm drawing right here, that are three-wheelers that kind of operate pretty well. So I was thinking about airplanes with two wheels on the front, one wheel in the back, which I don't think is standard, or maybe it doesn't exist. I'm not sure. Especially with like jet planes. I believe they're just one in the front to hold up the nose and then two in the back to hold the weight. So I was like, I want to make plane, like airplane designs with two wheels on the, or, airplane designs with two wheels on the front, one in the back. But I kind of want to play with the designs a bit so that way they don't look like our standard planes. And part of what I'm trying to draw with all this is how would it look not just when it's flying, but when it's standing still. And part of something that I also wanted to do on top of this three-wheel concept is the bird concept. How birds stand basically would be like an airplane parked, you know. And if you think about birds, and especially when there's like a whole bunch of them, and then you have like these power lines and telephone lines and things like that, so you'll have these telephone lines with these power lines running through, and then you'll have all these birds just huddled up next to each other, and they cover everything like that, right? And sometimes they'll be peppered in, but you have a ton of birds just in a row taking up this tiny amount of space, which is why I've been trying to think about what these vehicles look like when they're parked, when they have the three wheels in. Upright like a rocket. Yeah, that's kind of something that I was thinking about with this one here. If this one was parked, not so much taking, like blasting off with a rocket, but one that could be dropped from an elevation. So think about like the what's that shit called that Shield has? Those giant airplanes that Shield has. Those things that cruise in the sky that was in like the Avengers movies and Captain America Winter Soldier. Those giant space or airships that they have. And imagine like little airplanes on those, like on deck. And I was thinking about that, like they would kind of just drop out. And then after they drop out, the wing will fold out and everything like that. And then it's just the momentum from the drop that gives them all the force that they need in order to start gliding. And if there's a rocket, boom, now they're flying, they're already in the air. So not necessarily just thinking about taking off from the ground, but just dropping from a small plane, dropping from a big plane. Trying to think of all sorts of things here. But I was also thinking about like the birds, and when birds are just kind of standing there like that, they have their head, and then their wings are folded and tucked in, and then their legs are out, and they have their feet, and they're able to maintain balance. So I'm like, okay, so if that's like a bird there, and This would be a bird. Kind of. And then they have their leg kind of out like this. And then their wing is going back, forward, back, folded in on itself like that. So I'm thinking about birds like that as well. And it's like, can I get an airplane to stand like a bird, to fold its wings? And this doesn't have to be based in reality, but it does have to appear to be functional, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just looked up jet fighter planes, T-Rexes, not the animal, but the three-wheel T-Rexes, three-wheeled motorcycles, and bird wings real quick. For like 15 minutes, I was like, all right, I'm going to jump on and stream. Yes, the Helicarrier, exactly. So if you think about like a helicarrier, and you know it has like this giant deck or something, and then on the deck there's this structure up top, almost looks like a cruiser ship, you know, where command is up here, and then it just has like the all the floating stuff over here. But just like a cruiser ship, it has like storage in the bottom. You know, like all those warships and everything, they'll have tanks and land cats and all that other stuff to transport, you know, little transport vehicles in storage. So imagine if the helicarrier was storing a bunch of, like one, you know, miniature airplanes, essentially, almost like the size of these T-Rex things. And then it would just open up a hatch, and then all those little airplanes would just drop out of the bottom, and then the force of the drop open up the wings, start the engine, and then boom, they're flying. I was just thinking about things like that. So I was like, okay, now I just need to draw an airplane, but all these, like, I'm not getting what I want with the folded wings. I'm not getting anything with like trying to get away from like our planes and airplanes and things like that that exist in reality. So maybe it's just going to be like a whole lot of studies, and I'm going to draw these things a lot before I like really get a good understanding, and then I can finally like start like stunting with it and pulling, you know, new designs and things like that. Yeah, man, that's what I was thinking about. So I was trying to think of an airplane that's like that can do this. So if you have, now the only difference between a bird and a plane is that it has like the spine and, you know, a head that could turn and move around and things like that. And I was thinking, how much of that do I want in the vehicle? But as I'm drawing this T-Rex thing, I'm like, man, where do I put the wing? You know? Like I could put an imaginary door here and then think of this imaginary door as a folded up wing. Like you know. And that might be it. But I feel like in order to do all these concepts, I'll probably have to draw some things. Another thing that I'm thinking about, one of my favorite vehicles, I think it's the entire world's favorite vehicle, is Kaneda's motorcycle. That's another thing that I'm thinking about, is to just not just think about like all the functions and everything and trying to make it work. It's like that's important, but also make it look super dope. So it's like I got a lot of thoughts, and maybe I just need to draw a lot.
my alley. I'm the worst at those kinds of games, but I still love them. So are you thinking?
A cursed plane.
I'm gonna put Eric on.
Hell yeah, man. Send me a picture.
You ready, Eric? Here it comes.
Oh, nice. Come on, let's take a run. It's gonna be there, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's coming along. So, are you gonna ink this, or are you just gonna go straight on?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you
So,
ever,
what do you think?
Eric?
I'm sorry.
Do you ever go in and
Man, I haven't inked in so long. I've just been at, penciling, trying to short a pencil, and then they have not been paying a lot. I think the last time I inked something was, oh man, probably a year ago.
Okay.
I'm way behind where I need to be on inks. So.
Well, and inking is hard enough. Inking in front of people where you can't really erase. Yeah. But yeah, it's looking great so far, Eric. Cool. All right.
A lot of the paintings that you guys have been doing, or that you've been doing, is nuts, man. I had no idea. I mean, actually, I didn't know that you could paint. I've seen some of your covers and stuff.
Oh,
Thought you should do more.
sorry. Sorry, Eric. I'm just gonna. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay. I'm sorry, Tyler. I'm not good with the buttons.
So, I don't know, was I muted there? I don't even know.
I think if you were muted, it was for like a second.
Oh, okay.
And we have a super chat from 81 Modus. Thank you very much for $2. He says Lee and Michael Golden influences rendering. Or at least said Michael Golden influences rendering. Yeah, and I can see that too. And I can tell you that when I first started at Top Cow, it was actually part of Homage Studios. That was Jim Lee's studio with Wills. And it was Mark's too, for a while there. And Michael Golden was huge there. Everybody was looking at a lot of Michael Golden stuff. So I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I think I heard that name quite a few times, as somebody you should influence, I guess, or somebody you should use as reference.
Yeah, for sure. And, I have to admit, I love Michael Golden's artwork. Sometimes things work for you and sometimes they don't, and I was never able to really integrate that. I love it in Tom McFarlane stuff. He's incredible. It wasn't a style that fit for me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you have a little bit of like Mike and Neil as far as like your shadows and your blacks and stuff. I feel like.
Oh yeah,
Is he a big influence for you?
he still is. Yeah, for sure. He's a huge influence. As much as I can, the amount of times that I've got a cover to do, especially like a Batman cover or something, and I end up flipping through all my Mike Mignola stuff trying to find an idea. I have been burned that way before. I did anyways, Batman cover, and I copied him so closely, and sometimes I really try not to do that. Anyway, it was so close. It was obvious that it was just a copy. Yeah. And I could see it when it was kind of getting closer to being finished. I was like, oh wow, I went way too close. And so I was trying to change it, but it's too late. So
Yeah. Did someone notice?
yes. Oh yeah. Bleeding Cool noticed, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I got busted. And it was totally true. I mean, I didn't mean to swipe, but I swiped.
Nah, I feel like, well, if anyone knows, it's going to be them that notices that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, are you going to do, any of the, I know conventions are kind of coming back around, man. Are you doing anything this year or next year? And you can wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I've got plans to do some conventions. Dallas, it looks like. Toronto, which for sure I'll be able to go to. It's in Canada. I think New York. So a few, I just don't know necessarily that I'll be able to. It's, it's a little up in the air. So are you still using Brush?
Yeah, I'm still using this, man.
Okay, so I have to ask. If you don't like something, what do you do now? How do you fix it?
Well, I'd probably just black something out.
Okay.
Like if I was like, oh, I don't like that. Probably try to have a big black spot or like, I don't really know. But at this point, I would try to fudge it, I think. I don't think I'd be starting over really.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, and look, by the way, it looks great. I mean, to suggest that curious because I start with the thinnest pen that I have, just because I know if I don't like something, I can just bring out my my wallet. It's easier to.
Yeah, I guess that's actually really good reason why you should do that, man. But normally I haven't filled in any of the stuff that I.
Oh shit! You know what I need to look up?
Yeah, the hands, the face, eyes. Like these are just like shapes that I know I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, maybe when I'm done with this stream.
Exactly.
Well, how long have I been streaming?
Typically, I wouldn't even go in and start.
Going on oh, it's past 2 hours.
The basic pose.
You know, this is a decent stream. I got 3 squares filled in. Spent a lot more time on this, but I guess I was working a lot slowly and doing a whole lot of erases and things like that. But yeah, I had recently just watched the Miyazaki movie, The Wind Rises, and there's a part of that movie. This is just kind of like an end note to everything that I'm doing. Why maybe these, because I'm kind of happy with how everything looks. I'm happy with the illustrations. I'm just not happy with the lack of creativity that I was shooting for. But watching The Wind Rises, the main character would eat this fish, and then there's like a fish bone, and then he would look at this fish bone, and it kind of had like this shape to it. And he would like study this fish bone. It's probably like a rib or a spine or something from the fish. And he would use that in his aerodynamic designs and things like that. Miyazaki, I guess his dad owned the airplane thing during the war. So Miyazaki's really into airplanes. And so, you know, his movies and his characters tend to deal with planes and aerodynamics and flying machines and things like that all the time. And so I've been this entire stream just thinking about this fish bone from the movie. and you can see, like, that's why anytime I drew these things, that's why I was drawing just like that, getting this, getting that. And then it gives you the idea of, you know, it hitting the wind and then the wind passing through it and things like that. But that's, I think that's going to be it for this stream. I'll be back later on tonight to do some more. And I'll probably start going ham on just drawing stuff like I was doing here, but be less intentional and maybe more studious. You know what I mean? Like when I was drawing this T-Rex, I was like trying to be like creative with it, like as if I'm a creative person or something. And it was like, it wasn't happening. So maybe I just need to draw these vehicles, familiarize myself with the concepts of a bird's folded wing, of a bird's stance pose, with airplanes, aerodynamics, and these tricycles, essentially. Get myself familiar with all that stuff, and then maybe I could actually start creating something a little more unique and a little more into the world and realm that I'm trying to create. Again, there's some good stuff here, but nowhere near what I'm looking for. I have a art book that I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to study it tonight. And study it meaning just look at it. It's also in Japanese, so I can't read it. So I just look at the pictures. I'll grab it real quick. It's the Cowboy Bebop book. Give me 1 second. So I have this Cowboy Bebop book. And I believe I paid a pretty penny for it. And it's all in Japanese. But there's this book has everything. It has every single episode and every single piece of concept art, from vehicles to buildings to the environments to the characters and everything like that. I mean, to the backgrounds from the shots from every episode, all 26 of them. I mean, this book is a gold mine. The only thing that I hate about it is that the pictures are so small. Like, you know, you can see this and see that it's the bird from the Chessmaster Hex. And see, you could even see the You know, the old man with the game board in front of him, Ed. All the characters, what they look like. They're gonna have their spacesuits in there. Here's Chessmaster Hex. Here's a full body of him. We never got to see that in the show because he was always sitting down. But really, what I'm thinking about is the vehicles: Spike's swordfish, Faye's whatever it's called, and Jet's hammerhead. Not only do they have like the Bebop ship, and you know, look at how great these things are. They have the you know, like the swordfish, or they have like their consoles that they're actually driving from, you know, and shit like this, where here's the seat and here's all the control consoles. And I mean, the shit is wild, man. That's on the big ship, but see if I could find the swordfish real quick. But I'm gonna be looking at this and looking at those to kind of get the ideas going. See, like here's Faye's ship. I mean, these people put an insane amount of work into these things, a lot more than I'm trying to. Not because I don't want to, but I'd spend the rest of my life trying to understand this stuff. And really, it's like, let me just kind of get the surface level, you know, let me just dip my toe into the shallow end. But you see all these angles that they draw everything with so much detail. Here's Jet's hammerhead. But I'm trying to see the actual control consoles. See, here we go. So here's Faye's, and if you remember, hers had like that circle shape to her. And this is like the seat, the console, the screens, you know, the windshield or whatever you want to call it, the bubble, and you know, everything framing it. But everything is so mechanical. There's like where the feet go down here, and I don't know, these are probably like the handles or something. But either way, man, like the details that they put into this stuff, they blacked out the seat here so you can separate the seat from everything else, or just see how it like sits within the shell. But yeah, insane stuff, man. And then yeah, here's the character art. Where's the swordfish, man? Do they not have... I know they have the swordfish somewhere. I mean, this isn't exactly it, but you could even see just getting the shapes down. This is it, like, parked on the ground. And you can see this is how he sits in it. So that's what I'm looking for. That's why I was doing, like, the T-Rex studies, but even the T-Rex kind of sits like a car. And I was like, oh, I thought it sat more like a motorcycle. So that's kind of why I started thinking about Kaneda's bike, how he kind of sits forward on it like a street bike. That's kind of the aesthetic I would want to go with on these like fighter jet planes. As real or unreal as it is, I mean, that's just kind of what I want to do. But yeah, so I'm going to end this stream. And I mean, look, even the guns get breakdowns. Phones and shit. Like, they get everything in here. Lighters. I mean, I guess, you know, when they're going to do a close-up of a lighter because he's going to light a cigarette or light her cigarette, like, you know, they have to do it. So, yeah, man. That's going to be the end of this stream. I'm going to try to get better at this. Like I said, I'm kind of happy, but, you know, could be better. And, you know, this is just the beginning. That's what happens when we do. I'll have egg chicken plane finished by then. That's what's up. And yeah, man, I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all social media. Links are in bio along with my website, gmrdrew.art. Yeah, man, follow, like, and subscribe, do all that stuff. And thanks for stopping by. Nope, like I said, I'll be back later on, and I'll just continue drawing these things, and I'll probably be drawing it for a while now that I know how much I need to know about these things. All right, peace out.